should have set up my little microphone. I'm just about to present. Good morning, everybody. We are going to get started in just a moment. It is the day after, it's a day after New Year's, and I'm sure people are a little bit slower than usual, but we are going to get started in just a second. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our overview of what mortgage marketing is going to be in 2021. My name is Kelly Yale. I am the founder at Intent Modern Mortgage Marketing. I'm also the founder at a company called Motivator CRM. And I'm so delighted to introduce us to you if you've never heard of Intent, also to virtually meet you and to go over some of the strategies that we think most of you are going to be using in 2021 when it comes to how you're going to be building up your mortgage business. Obviously, all of us lived through 2020. This is a new year, hopefully new you, new us, new everything. There are going to be some challenges that we're all going to still have in 2021, but hopefully we can align your vision for what you want to have happen with your marketing after today's presentation. So let's go over what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I could sit here for the next 3, 4, 6 hours and talk to you about every kind of marketing that we currently see for not only the mortgage industry, but where we see sort of database intelligence going and all of that. But we have an entire calendar that you can follow for January and February, where we're actually going to do a deep dive into all of these different topics so that we can make it actionable for you. So often in mortgage, and I certainly have been in mortgage for the last mortgage marketing for the last 10 years, the thing that you see a lot is people talk in theory. And I don't want to talk to you in theory today. I want to give you really actionable things so that you can see this list and it doesn't seem so insurmountable. We're going to be going over some of the mortgage marketing trends that we see, social media marketing, content marketing, digital marketing, referral marketing, lead buying, and marketing to any online lead gen you're doing, database marketing, data intelligence, email and text marketing, video marketing, and then traditional marketing. If that sounds like a lot of different topics, it certainly is. And being the master of all those topics is no easy feat for even those in marketing. However, we hope to give you some small ways that you can become a master of all of those things today. So 2021 should be a really solid year still in mortgage. Why? Well, we're going to see the rates are going to stay more or less the same. We think they might edge up a little bit, but we don't really see, from what I've heard, from probably what you've heard, we don't see a big scare that interest rates are gonna fly up. Hopefully, we're going to see the housing inventory open up a little bit as well. Obviously, the first sort of wave of the COVID fear was that people didn't want to be going in and out of houses. Now that we've learned a little bit more, now the vaccination's on the way, we hopefully will see more people putting their house on the market. And homes are going to keep, home prices are going to keep rising up as well. We're also seeing a lot of movement from people who are not going to have to go back into their offices, people who are looking for a more suburban settings. People are calling them Zoom towns, but obviously that is going to be something where people can move away from the city, and you may actually see that the homes that are in the city may become cheaper from that as well. The experts are saying a lot of different things about 2021, and I don't want to go too far into this, but I would say that some of the people who we rely upon for the best information are definitely saying that 2021 is going to be a good year for you. Joe Tyrell is probably the person who I admire most in what we do. He is definitely saying he used to work for Ellie Mae, and they're definitely seeing that there's going to be the same kind of record breaking year again this year for refinances and for home purchases. And so if you're listening to what people are saying, they're definitely saying that 2021 for the mortgage industry is still going to be another great year. So that's really good news for all of us. There's nothing more buzzy than saying, how am I going to market to my millennial buyers, right? Millennials. But the reality is, in the next 5 years, there's going to be quite a wave of these people who had graduated college and maybe been out for 5 or 6 years, who aren't maybe facing that mountain of loan debt that they used to have, or who are getting married and finding somewhere to live, or even those who just see real estate as a good financial investment. These people are definitely moving and learning what they want to do. And they've certainly had, if they haven't lived in a house for the last year, they certainly had time to like think about it. Not only that, but a lot of people we may find themselves, especially if they have a good job, having a lot more cash flow now that the last year has really kind of hampered the way that people were able to spend. So this is going to be a great time for you to capitalize on all the different marketing techniques that you can use to make sure that you're in front of the people that you want to be in front of. The thing and the buzzword and the thing you're going to learn in this presentation today, and hopefully take with you all throughout 2021, is the concept of omni-channel marketing. When I started in this industry, it was referral only. I mean, it really was. That was back in 2012, and people would talk about the only way that this business is done is word of mouth and and grateful referral partners. And of course, now we know that there are so many different places where you have to show up and you have to have good content, not only across all social media platforms, but making sure that your website is really easy to use, that you've got a great digital application, because that's what your competition is starting to really do. Is they're gaining momentum in how quickly they've adopted the different technologies that are out there to make applying for a loan a lot simpler. You're going to want to start really personalizing the things that you do. Personalized marketing is everything for this year. Sometimes it can appear in a creepy way, like when you see ads that are retargeted. We all saw this probably during Christmas time. You go to Nordstrom, you're on the website, you're looking at a pair of boots, and all of a sudden that pair of boots starts following you around the internet, trying to convince you to make that purchase. We want to take it one step further. We want to know when people are ready to buy homes. We want to know what their behavior is. And then we want to personalize the messaging that we're sending out to just them. If you have a young couple couple who are about to have their first baby, that's a very different conversation than, say, an older couple who are downsizing because one of their kids is going out to college. So we want to make sure that everything we do is personalized, looks good, sounds good. And then using all of that buyer and behavior intelligence that you can glean from all of these different digital marketing platforms, and making sure that you bring every bit of that into what you're doing for marketing so you can really narrow down what it is that each and every one of these people want. So, networking has been tough. When you think about how you could go out and network in 2019 versus 2020 versus 2021, we don't actually have the ability to go out and meet new people. However, social media, because it is has really turned the corner on being thought of as a professional marketing tool, is a great way to do this. You can meet real estate agents online, have online Zoom meetings with them, and really, this is the time of year where every single loan officer I've ever coached, I always talk to them about making your big top three list. Who are the top three agents that you want to work with? And actively pursue that relationship. Find people who you both have in common who can introduce you. Have a virtual cocktail party with those people, but find a way that you can get in front of the people still who you want to be in front of. This is not something where we're going to put our lives on hold for another year. We are going to be able to do things, but for right now, the safest bet for you is just to be able to have that Zoom meeting and connect on social media. We obviously know that everything is about making sure that you're in social media now. This is a no-brainer type of situation. One in every five people is on Facebook. So this is it's definitely something where you need to be showing up, but how you show up is going to be something that we definitely focus on. I believe we actually have two Facebook trainings this week talking about the different approach that you need to take with how you create relationships on there and how you show up in social media strategies as well. So I would definitely attend that if you can. The reason it's so important is because how you show up on these platforms is going to make a big impact. You still see Facebook usage being the highest, even higher than YouTube, which is stunning and surprising, especially considering the data we would have about 2020 at this point. But you're still seeing those two be your biggest bang for your buck. WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, obviously, those are highly utilized. And if you're not using it like chatbots and things like that, we can certainly review how those things can help. But then you start getting into more Instagram and TikTok. And, every time that there's not a new, but when there's a popular social media platform. So in 2020, it was definitely TikTok. People want to know, like, how do I utilize this for business? And what I'd love to do this year, if we can, is kind of show you how you can have an energized, fun brand that shows up across social media platforms without really having to come up with a way to make mortgages translate into the fun of TikTok. I mean, I don't really think that that's going to happen for you. However, there's plenty of great ideas that you can make your own videos and put them up on TikTok and have fun with people who are searching for homes. It is stunning when you really look at how people use social media. Now, usually, when you're talking to mortgage professionals, they are used to using social media less than other people. Most people who are kind of part of the hustle and the grind and that kind of thing are not people who actively utilize social media during the day that much. However, if you look around you, especially in the time of COVID, all people are doing is sitting on their phones. I mean, truly, even when they're watching TV, you're doubling up. So when you see this average amount of time spent per day using social media is 2.5 hours, I would argue that probably 2020 stats are even higher than that. However, the thing I want to show you with this particular graphic is this is a non-negotiable for you to start really sharpening your social media skills. You should at least be able to have the following things under your belt. You should absolutely know the difference between using Facebook for business and using it for business from a personal perspective. Now, how you do that is an art, and I am totally here to teach you exactly how to do that. But you should have a business page and a profile page. You should expect literally nothing from your business page, but you should start harnessing your messaging a little bit differently. And we're going to show you how to do that later on this week. When it comes to Google, you should absolutely be showing up. If you are just a single office, you 100% should be showing up on Google when somebody Googles you. If you don't know what that looks like, I would highly encourage you today to do two searches. One is a search of your own name, and the second one is going to be home loans and your city. I want to see how things are searched and where you come up. Look at what your competitors are doing. But if you don't know how to set up your Google for Business page and you don't know why that's important or how to do it, we're also going to be giving you training on that as well. 1,000%, I believe you're underutilizing LinkedIn. How do I know that? It's been true of every seminar I've ever given. For some bizarre reason, people do not like LinkedIn as far as like their daily habits. However, LinkedIn is an extraordinary way to do all of your B2B marketing, to really grow that brand and that presence and have conversations with people who are in your field and in your area. Um, our LinkedIn training is really not to be missed. Not only will I walk you through the new sort of platform, show you how to set it up and things like that, but then I really want to talk to you about how to curate relationships on LinkedIn. But that is one of the top 5 that you've really got to focus on this year. Instagram, absolutely. If you're not on Instagram personally, you're going to want to be on it professionally. There are really incredibly clever ways that you can take the massive amount of education that you usually have to do with each and every person who comes through and make it accessible and make it fun so that people will follow you and so that you can also follow your referral partners. So we'll also be talking about how to build up Instagram. And last but not least, every single person should have a YouTube page at this point in their career. I understand that you may not feel comfortable doing videos. We will go over how to do video, how to do it right, how to light you well, how to edit, how to put things up on YouTube. But at this point, you 100% should at least have 2 or 3 videos. Just of maybe even just you introducing yourself and saying why you're in mortgage. All of these things are just incredibly important as we're moving into 2021. We're going to go over content marketing. Content marketing is just a really fancy way of saying you've got something to say and the ability to have a platform on which you can say it. For some of you, this will mean putting your words into writing, whether that is writing an article for your website, whether that is writing an article for LinkedIn, where you can put the articles up there. Whatever you're going to do, you have a wealth of information up in your brain, and you can't seem to get that to the masses. But it's incredibly important to give people things that they can share and things that are personal to you, not to corporate, but to you. You are your own individualized entrepreneur. And we have to start getting you thinking that way when it comes to how your content marketing is done. The reason it's so important is because people really relate to other human beings. Not other, certainly most people don't relate to mortgages, but they do relate to the people who sell mortgages. So if you're sitting over there and you're telling them, this is who I am, this is who my team is, this is what we bring to the table, this is what differentiates us from our competition, this is really what you want to start doing. And then telling those success stories with either your customers or your referral partners or even by yourself. Being able to say, today is January 4th and here's what I'm seeing and here's what I'm thinking. Even if it's just something small that you see going on in the industry and you just want to make a quick video and pop that up on Facebook, it's still creating a library of these videos for you to share. Referral marketing is an enormous piece of the puzzle for most of you right now. It's still going to be the most viable way to get business for you. But this is the point at which you should really be asking yourself, what am I doing to bring value to these relationships? A lot of loan officers believe that they bring incredible value to their real estate agents because they give the best service, or they're able to be texted at midnight, or whatever it is that you think that your referral partners really need. It actually may not have anything to do with what they really need. But how do you find out what they need from you? You should be having January strategy sessions. How are you going to lay out the year? What is going to be important to the two of you? And really, what does your specific real estate agent need? How can you solve that problem? How can you fill that gap for them? If you're buying leads with this agent, and that has been a broken model we've seen over the last couple of years, some people it's really successful for. Other people seem to be paying that money just so that you can continue getting, these shared referrals when you're buying them from places like Zillow. But if you're not coming at it with a real strategy on how to follow up with each and every one of those buyers, that is something you should definitely be having a conversation about. Connecting with new agents, we went over that a little bit when we were talking about LinkedIn, but this is equally as important on Facebook. Let us show you how to make that list, how to make that strategy for who you want to go after, and how to really sort of, you know, the only word I can come up with is romance, but that sounds a little bit weird. But sort of, online date this new referral partner to see if you guys are a good match. And then what are you going to offer your real estate agents in 2021 that is actually going to be different than your competitors? The only way you can know that is to have that conversation, because loan officers struggle with sort of that asking for help type of mentality, right? You don't want to seem like you're coming from a place of not having enough. And yet, what we really want to say is, how do I get more leads from you? But how do I push more leads towards you? And how do we take these leads that we both have and curate them together? When you ask a real estate agent what the most important part for them is when it comes to who they're going to refer business to, you'll hear the same things over and over again. They want to make sure that they can trust you, that their agent, that their customers can trust you, that that you're reliable, that you're going to give the best service, that you're going to basically uphold the realtor's brand, because they're going to be their brand promise is not connected to you. So we want to make sure that your communication is great, that you're offering solutions and not more problems for the real estate agent, that they are truly your priority, and that you're going to be able to give them really fast answers when they want them. But this is where I would highly encourage you to to take your stats from 2020. Where did your business really come from? That's one of the key things you can do at the very beginning of the year, is to have a list of all the closings and all the referral partners, because a lot of times the temperature of who your best referral partner was last year tends to be really surprising to people. You think like, oh, this is my number one referral source right here. Here's number two, number three, and number four. I would encourage you to actually look at those numbers. So often, those people can be repeat customers for you, and or you will receive a lead from someone, or three or four leads from somebody who isn't even a real estate agent. So what I really want you to do is figure out, where are my top 10 real estate agents, and immediately schedule a meeting with them to have a Zoom either this week or next week, so that you can talk about how you can invest in them in 2021, and in their business. You can do that in a lot of different ways. Typically, real estate agents don't have very good tech. And depending on where you work, you may have tech that you can offer that's going to solve some of their problems. I'm a huge proponent in making realtor squads, taking your top 8 to 10 real estate agents, having a Facebook group that's just for that squad, having Zoom meetings that are just for that squad, where you introduce each one of those people to each other, and you guys handle a topic. So maybe that is like, hey, we're seeing, offer pads show up a lot in our area. What can we do about that? Or hey, in February we're all going to meet up on Zoom, and we're going to talk about, how to build your business, or social media marketing, whatever that is. Whatever you're really good at, think about coaching them up to support that. They may not have marketing. In fact, I would say that's probably one of the hardest parts for most real estate agents is being able to balance doing the marketing for their clients and doing their own marketing. You know, that we always say that. I mean, every that's true of everyone. Marketing does fall by the wayside when you're trying to help other people with it. Just any support and lead nurturing you can do, but then also education that seems small, but on the right you can see, we take education of the real estate agent incredibly seriously, and so we like to engage with the realtors on our clients' behalf every Friday, and we give them something really new and interesting to talk about. Obviously, we're just trying to get those conversations to start for 2021. That's kind of the goal for this week is just saying, when can we plan this meeting where the two of us can talk about our goals and strategies? But I would say 100% for sure, you should have some plan, some method whereby you are going to be this educational resource for these real estate agents. And then how are you going to deliver on that promise? If you're using a system like ours, obviously we're automated, but if you're not using an automated plan, let's create one for you so that you can automate it yourself. Digital marketing is probably the most important component of all of these things because you have to have a good, solid, easy to use website that is incredibly findable. You want to make sure that the content is there for people to be able to educate themselves. You want to have a pretty solid retargeting plan. If somebody comes to your website and they don't apply for a loan with you, where are they going? Where do they need to see your brand show back up to remind them that you're a great person to work with? How are we going to make sure that there's re-engagement if someone filled out an application, but let's say abandoned it 30% of the way through? You want to make sure that you have enough lead capture and follow up and that is automated. And then you want to start really thinking this year about how ads on Facebook and Google and landing pages might work for your business. Landing pages are great because they allow us to market a specific segment, right? So if you have, let's say you have a ton of military in your area, you have a military base that's nearby, then you can really be supporting sort of a VA loan message around that base. Let people come over, click through an ad, and then really capture that information and really just stand behind that VA section of that. You can do that for everything. I mean, every single um, any loan program that you have, any bond program that you have, anything that you really want to highlight, that is a perfect way to get in front of people and have them go either from social media over to a landing page or just from Google and hit a landing page. Get to know a little bit of information about you, but really you're able to capture that information to see if that person's going to become a lead long term. Once you have those people, once you have that lead, hopefully you are setting them up for success. Because so often what we do is we get referrals, we get leads, we have all these things coming at us. We're trying to put out fires. You if you use a system, hopefully you have a strategy. So if you have, let's say a VA loan client comes to you and they put their information in on your website, hopefully in that landing page, you trigger an automatic email that comes over to them and says, no one is going to do a better job when it comes to VA loans than I am. And here's why. And then hopefully you have your email set up so that that will take them back to the website when they receive that first initial email or all the emails. You have calls to action that take them right back to your website where they have the ability to apply again. One of the most important fundamentals of digital marketing is just making sure that you're not sending out flat emails that don't go anywhere, but instead you are doing everything that you can to convert every person into a buyer. Online marketing and lead generation are two massive topics that I've thrown into this one slide. So let's think about these things essentially as what I just discussed, which is online marketing, which is any level of Google advertising, SEO, Facebook, Instagram ads, things like that. And then obviously lead generation when it comes to the mortgage industry is usually looked at like Zillow, Lending Tree, any of the leads that you're purchasing through a lead vendor. But no matter what, the only thing that truly matters when it comes to this, I mean, outside of your budget, which some of you are spending an insane amount of money on leads that just goes by the wayside every month. I think if you guys actually saw how much you could actually do with that amount of money versus spend it on leads, it would probably blow your mind. However, I'm not here to tell you not to buy leads, but I am here to tell you that if you don't have an immediate, predictable, and personalized way to follow up with those purchase leads, it won't matter. It genuinely won't. If you have a lead come in and you don't have an immediate trigger to get a hold of that person and find out what their needs are, then you're running the risk of 3 to 6 of your competitors doing it in the first 5 minutes that they get that lead. So make sure that you have the tools. If you're spending the money, make sure that you have the tools to make sure that those things are working for you. Because the only thing that should be happening is you get that lead, you make sure that they're pre qualified, you set an appointment that you can review their needs for them and get them to apply. Or just directly apply would actually also be awesome. However, we all know how things go. I would love to not even give you any of this seminar at all. I would prefer if everybody would just believe me when it comes to database marketing, that everything you need to do to generate leads for 2021 is probably already in your database. There is the the adoption of this way of thinking has been incredibly slow, because there is so much business with referral marketing. Because you do have so many people who you've done a loan for and who maybe you're doing some sort of random like post close marketing, and then they come back to you and then they want to do a refinance. And you're like, hey, this is amazing. I'm doing this database marketing. But it is stunning to our clients how much power there is in their database. And what we typically do is we show them within the first month. If you gave us your Zillow budget, we'll give you twice the return in a month from your database marketing. And that's because it's completely possible to do so. But it's so important that every single person in your database has an ongoing customer journey. And let me explain to you what that means, because we're going to be going over a lot of that in the coming days. A customer journey is every person in your database, and you are 100% likely completely off when it comes to how many people you have in your database. The only reason I say that is not because I don't think you're in touch, but because every day I make people guess how many people in their database, and they're usually off by a few thousand. Um, all of those people. So let's say you have 6,000 people in your database. Well, I mean, just play the odds there. 25% of them are probably going to move this year. So think about how you're doing that. What are the strategies you have around every single lead? So for us, when we say that data intelligence is the future, it's because we love knowing as much as we possibly can about everybody in your database. And we can do that now using all the tools at our disposal. So if you have somebody come in right now and they don't have the credit score to qualify for a loan, you're just moving right on with your day. In our system, what we do is we identify that this person has had their credit pulled and that their credit score is too low. We immediately engage them in the credit improvement campaign, teaching them how to get their credit score up where it needs to be. That works essentially as a credit counselor in the background. But then we apply the data intelligence so that we're watching those credit scores. And once that hits the threshold that you set forth, we let everybody know, hey, good news, this person's ready to have their credit pulled again. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to know if someone is rate shopping you, if you want to know if anyone on your database has put their house on the market, if you want to have all the data you need on making sure that every person who could have been refied in 2020 has been refied or needs a refi in 2021, we'll show you how to do that. We have all kinds of data that comes into the system. And that's what we want to start doing, understanding that this is no longer a lead, that it becomes a true digital profile for you of every single buyer. And that if you are really smart about how you're going to build your business for 2021, you are understanding that for the next 3 to 5 years, capitalizing on your database and using data intelligence is going to make you far more money than almost any other route I could tell you about. The reason that that is so imperative is that your whatever system you are using, um, most of you use a CRM. Some of you are using a customer data platform. A lot of you on this call are likely using Intent. And what you really want is for whatever your system is, you want it to basically work as though it's the best loan officer assistant you ever could have hired, that it's out there in the background churning new business for you. We saw this come alive in 2020 when it came to refinances. We set up the post close marketing to make sure that the customer understands that your job as the mortgage planner is to watch out for the best possible solutions for every one of your customers moving forward. And so you're watching for opportunities that are going to help that customer be able to make the best financial decisions of their life. So you can have our system automatically look for those opportunities, assign people to the refi campaign, get those calls scheduled, have them make sure that they're sending in their application, make sure that they're being marketed to while they're thinking about it, because there's nothing for some odd reason that makes people move slower than the documentation for a refinance. So making sure that you're telling them this is why this is important. Do not miss the boat on this. I know that there's not a sense of urgency because these rates are going to stay low for 2021, but there's going to be a sense of urgency because we may need a little bit more time to close that. Making so just marketing throughout the entire customer journey. And then from there, once you get them down and like maybe you refied them out of PMI, whatever it is, make sure that you're hitting the reasons why to them, right? So if they're going to be able to eliminate PMI, let's market that way to them. If you know that they are going to be saving up, let's say they want to buy a vacation home and they're trying to refi out a refi so they can get money to do that. Let's make sure that the messaging that we're sending them is correct for what they are going to be doing. And the reason that database marketing is so imperative is because we no longer work in this strange funnel system that you probably cut your teeth on in the business, right? Okay, I'm going to meet 25 people and five of them are going to buy a house in 2021 and three of them are going to be qualified and I'm going to close two. Absolutely not. There is no more funnel. If they're in your database, it means that they're part of your community. And that, the heart of that is your customer data platform that's taking care of the marketing and the service and some of the sales in the background for you. Because you're not meeting strangers when you're talking to your database, right? You're literally talking to prospects who become customers, who then become promoters, who will then go to find strangers and tell them how amazing you are. And we really want this to be the way that you're focusing your business. All leads, even if those are real estate agents who you've worked with in the past, how many of your own realtors did you do a refi for in 2020? How many of them are still an untapped market for a refi in 2021? Think about how every person has the ability to be your customer. There's nothing harder than convincing people that they're gonna look great on camera. It really isn't, because people get strange about it, and that's fine. If you're somebody who doesn't like to do video marketing, I get it. I would, however, tell you to do it and just never watch it again, because introductory videos on how you do business and just saying hey to the world, educational videos about specific loan programs, things you're seeing in the market, your review videos. You know, when you have a customer at the table and you turn your phone around and you ask them what their loan experience was like, and they give you that really good feedback. When you sit down on a Zoom with your best referral partner and the two of you are going back and forth just trying to educate people on all the advantages to listing their house for 2021, making sure that you're building out that YouTube channel with all of those things. It's just so incredibly important, because then you can also showcase those things in social media and also on your website. Yes, it is nerve-wracking to be on video, and people think that they need a script and all kinds of things. And the only thing you really need in life when it comes to video is you need a great webcam, and you need to make sure that the angles are there and the lighting is there and you're good to go. It doesn't really matter what you say after that. You don't have to worry too much about editing, because the end of the day, the one thing I want you to hold in your heart when it comes to any efforts that you take is that you're a human being and other people expect you to be a human being. So if you flub a word or two, it's going to be okay. I would much rather work with somebody who is okay owning their own stuff and their own mistakes than somebody who spent 6.5 hours making a perfect video that I didn't relate to. There is, of course, always going to be room for traditional marketing, especially in an industry like mortgage. Why? Because you're your own individual entrepreneur working for your own brand underneath the umbrella of the brand of the company that you work with. But you still need an individualized brand. You can still have your own logo and tagline. There's not really a place for flyers in 2021. Think about that for a minute, if you will. Where is somebody going to pick up a flyer? Why do they want to take it? We understand that there does still need to be, there do need to be digital flyers. And so that there is still a call for all that. Obviously, advertising, sponsorship, quizzes, contests, open houses, those things are going to be a little bit different in 2021 as we watch sort of the vaccine rollout and people get more comfortable going out and doing more things. But promotion is going to be back in a big way, especially in the spring and summer where people are kind of coming out of their houses. And hopefully, we're rounding the corner on all this. We will get back to sort of those traditional marketing events that we really liked doing before. Like I said, I could have taught to you and still can for the next 6 hours about all these different marketing avenues and how to become a master of all of those. But I like to give you three takeaways that you can do in January every day so that when you come to training tomorrow, you are all set and ready to tackle the next topic. So, the thing I would do today is truly just review what it is that you do. Make sure that your business is on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Yelp. That is a really simple thing that you can do today. Do I have all of these things set up? If not, how do I do that? Make a plan to attend the sessions that we are hosting and make sure you're asking the people in your office to do so as well. If you have a LOA who was not on the call today and you spent most of the time thinking, boy, that person should have been on this call, bring them with you. If you want to invite your entire office, you certainly can. We do have a hard limit of 500 seats per day. However, there's people get flighty, some things come up and there may be some extra seats for you. And then if I can have you do one more thing I think would be really good, it's to write out your digital marketing goals for Q1. What does that mean? Well, review everything that we went over today. If you don't have your own website, maybe that's one of your goals for 2021 is to have your own website or to have your own logo or your own brand or whatever that is important to you and how you show up. You can certainly make a wish list of all of those things, and that's going to give you a good game plan as we're moving through this first couple weeks of 2021. Uh, Obviously, it's a lot. We totally get that. One of the things that we use is this graphic because the thing I want you to concentrate on, not so much about what intent does, but I want you to look at the bottom portion of this graph because the way that technology is set up currently, that we really want the loan officers' roles to be creating these incredible relationships, networking with the right kinds of people, meeting home buyers and potential future home buyers, finding the best loan program for those people, and putting together a great loan file, and then moving on to the next person. What we get mired down in is everything above the line that we're having to chase around and make sure things are going right. Are we, is there going to be a fire on this file today? Are people dropping the ball? Those things are always going to come up. But it's how much pressure there is to do all of the things and be an expert in all of the things when I just really want you to keep focused on what's on the bottom line because that's what you should be in. You should be in sales. I should be in marketing. Your processors should be in processing. And that's the kind of roles we should all be embracing as we move into this new year. There are so many different topics that we are going to cover in January. Tomorrow is an amazing one on customer journeys. If you've never really delved into what a customer journey is, you really should come tomorrow because it's going to be talking to you about when someone comes to talk to you about a home loan, how, like, what is their personal path? If we have a renter who has 4 months left on their lease, who's looking for their to be a first-time home buyer. How do we serve that relationship accordingly? What do we do to build the blocks up of trust and of loyalty in that 4 months? So that's a really good one to have. As you can see, we're going to have different ones about Facebook, LinkedIn, mortgage marketing on LinkedIn, all kinds of different things that you can do. Please definitely come and check out all of the things that we're going to be doing. Obviously, we can be experts in these things because that's our only job. I can't tell you for the life of me how to put together a good loan file, but I can tell you all day long how to make sure that you show up for people. If any of these topics that you see here are things that are not included on our calendar, guarantee you that they'll be on our calendar for February, or they'll be on our website where we have free coaching for mortgage professionals all the time. We like to invest in you because we understand that the more you understand, the better you're going to be. However, we also, as a service, clearly handle all of these things for our customers. So you don't have to be the best at them, but we do love teaching you how you can be. So if you have any questions at this time, I'm happy to take those. There's probably going to be a lot of questions, so I'm just going to take a second to jump up there. If you need to leave the call, we really appreciate you coming by today. We do hope that you will check out our different social media platforms. We do try to really engage you and give you important information all the time. So you can follow us at Intent Marketing on all digital media platforms. I'm going to go ahead and take questions at this time. So if you need to jump off the call, we appreciate you being here today. And if you have any questions, go ahead and type those into the question section for Zoom, and I will take those as they come. Sarah asks, will this webinar be available again? Will slides be available to review later? Sarah, thank you so much for your question. We always actually put these trainings on our website. It's also on our YouTube page. It'll also be on our social media pages today. So you absolutely can show this to anybody you would like or review it later. We'll also be using the audio to make a podcast. And so that will be on our podcast moving forward as well. So thank you for your question. And I actually don't have any more questions. So if you guys have anything else, you can type those into the chat window. If not, I may actually end up closing this down early. So hopefully we will talk to you guys tomorrow for any questions that you would have.